Hey everyone, welcome to section 3.1.3. We're going to be talking about interest in this section. So interest, hopefully you've heard about it before. If you have a bank account, like a savings account, and you have money in your bank, you'll probably see every month or so that your bank deposits a small amount of money into your account, and that is called interest. So whenever you loan someone money, they will pay you interest, but if you take a loan from someone, you will pay them interest back as well. So it says, you've heard the expression money does not grow in trees. However, it does, in a sense, grow in a savings account. We should make this CENTS. There's my dad joke for the day. All right, anyway, so today this video is going to focus solely on simple interest. Okay, so we're going to do an 8% simple interest, and this is what your account's looking like. You only have your $1,000 and you're not depositing anything else. We're just assuming that interest is the only thing added to your account. So if you notice, we have $1,000. After 1 year is $1,080. 2 years, $1,160. 3 years, $1,240. So what we are doing is we are adding 80 every year. So if we add 80 again, we get 1,320. Right here it says, by what percent has the balance increased by in the fourth year? So the way we can find that percent increase is the same way as we find a multiplier. We take a y value divided by a previous. Now we're just taking our 4-year y value, 1,320, dividing it by our initial, because we're looking at how much it's grown over those 4 years. So we're taking 1,320 divided by 1,000, and when you do that, you get 1.32. Now remember, that would be like a multiplier of 1.32, which we have to think of that as a percent increase or decrease. So remember, the way we do that is we move our decimal place over twice, so this would be 132%. We then subtract the 100% from it, and so we would have a 32% positive, so that'd be a 32% increase. So overall, over 4 years, our money increased 32% just by leaving it in the bank account. Pretty good. It's very rare these days that you're going to have 8% interest rate, however. So right now, you'll be lucky if you get 1%. But that's just how things go. All right, so then we're going to rewrite the information from the table as a sequence. So remember, when we write it as a sequence, we're just writing our y values out. So this would be 1,000, 1,080, 1,160, 1,240, and 1,320. And we could go on. Since we are adding 80, it would be arithmetic. Our initial value is labeled here at 1,000. And then it says, what's the generators? The generator is what we do to get from one term to the next. So that would be plus 80. And what's another name for that plus 80? It is going to be our slope, but remember, when we're in an arithmetic sequence, the slope is also called the common difference, which is also your slope. All right, as we go in and we try to graph it, we'd have years on the x-axis, money on the y-axis, and we'd have 0, 1,000, 1, 1,080. Notice we're going by hundreds on the y-axis. 2, 1,160. 3, 1,240, and 4, 1,320. For right now, we're going to not connect our points because we only get the interest at the end of the year. So our account really is kind of staying flat throughout the year and then jumping up. So we're just not going to connect them for right now. And then it says write an equation for the investment where y represents the value of the investment and x is the years. Well, since we know it's arithmetic, we know it's going to have to be y equals mx plus b. And so we have kind of everything labeled up here. We know that our slope, or the common difference, is 80. And then our initial value was 1,000. So y equals 80x plus 1,000. Now where is this 80 coming from? That is the question. And we'll get to that down here in a moment. So the last question is, how much money will we have after 20 years? Well, again, x is number of years. So we'll just plug 20 in. So that would be 1,600 plus 1,000, 2,600. $2,600 after 20 years. All right, so down here is where we're gonna kind of summarize it all. And so simple interest, this is our summary of simple interest, is always gonna be y equals mx plus b. So we might want to write simple interest is linear. Now the b was easy to find. The b was the initial value, or the y value, and x was 0. Or you can also think of it as the starting amount in your account. The little bit tricky part is the slope. And this is in past years, this is what people struggle with the most. So our slope was 80, but how did we get 80? Remember, we started with $1,000, but remember, it was 8% of the $1,000. So 8% of 1,000 is 80. That's how we got the 80. So to find your slope, we're gonna have a little formula here. Slope equals your initial value, or your starting amount, times your interest rate as a decimal. And that's as a decimal. So that is your formula for slope right there. You take your slope equals your starting amount times your interest rate, which is as a decimal. So if we kind of go off to the side here, our starting amount here was 1,000. 8% was our interest rate. So again, 8% as a decimal, I have to move it 2 places to the left, so times 0.08. And that's how we got our 80 for our slope here. All right, there's simple. Again, this box is the box you want to refer back to anytime you have a simple interest problem.